Hello and welcome. I hope that you are having a fantastic day. We have some cryptocurrency news for you. French central banker advocates for blockchain. That's amazing because more and more central bankers are starting to talk about creating their own blockchains, their own digital currencies, their own cryptocurrencies, etc. Now, I know there's a lot of people in the cryptocurrency community that kind of talk makes the hair on the back of their neck stand up, either in the desire to fight it or the desire to run from it. But in either case, they don't like the idea of the government of any sort getting involved with cryptocurrency because that's the antithesis of the original intent of cryptocurrency. Unfortunately, when you have something really good like blockchain and cryptocurrency has proven to be, a lot of other people are going to want to get in on the game, and that's beginning to include governments and central banks. So before we get into it, I need to let you know that I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion. I am not smarter than you. You are smarter than you realize. Do not trust what I say. Do your own research. So if anything that I say in this video is going to impact a decision you're making regarding investments or regarding the money you invest in cryptocurrency, then do some additional research before you go down that path and before you change a decision that you may or may not make in regards to an investment. So, French central banker advocates for blockchain-based settlements in Europe. The Central Bank of France wants the Eurozone to build a blockchain-based settlement system that will move euros more quickly and at less cost than with existing technologies. Now, typically, when you're moving money from country to country, the SWIFT system is the system that's used by central banks around the world. Within the Eurozone, I don't know if they use the SWIFT system or if they use other technologies or a combination of both. I know that when money's going from the United States to France, that SWIFT is typically what gets used. But here's the point. The Central Bank of France, of all people, is talking about building some sort of cryptocurrency that can be used to transfer funds more quickly and more efficiently. And that's actually what's happened with Stellar and Ripple. Ripple has been building relationships with people all over the world, and banks in particular all over the world, in order to do that very same thing. And so Ripple and Stellar may be in for some stiff competition if the European Union decides to build their own blockchain. One solution France is considering is a central bank digital currency. Bose said the Eurozone has a responsibility to at least consider a central bank digital currency, especially because other disorderly approaches and heterogeneous adaptations could arise in its absence. Well, the could arise has actually happened several years ago. That's what Ripple and Stellar are already doing. In fact, Ripple is already being used by, I'm trying to think of the name of that company, but they instead of Western Union, you would go to them to transfer money from like the United States to France, for example, or any other country. Man, it was on the tip of my tongue just a couple of minutes ago. Anyway, Ripple has become one of the backbones that company is using for transferring money from one country to another country. And so that's already arisen and is actually in use today. It's just a question of how much is it going to get used before they can actually release their own central bank digital coin. And the more and more Ripple solution gets used in the absence of a cryptocurrency from a central bank in Europe, then the harder it will be for the central bank to capture back some of that value and some of that business, so to speak. because all of a sudden there's becoming more and more competition for things that used to be the domain of governments. Cross-border payments also could be particularly valuable DLT use case. So DLT is distributed ledger technology. So it could be a particular valuable distributed ledger technology use case, Bose said. Residents in the EU and beyond often wait extended periods for payments to wend between banks and their international partners in the correspondent banking model that delivers an often insecure service for what he said was a high price. In fact, he actually just hit most of the bullet points that Ripple and Stellar have been touting as the reason for using their blockchains, because when you're transferring money, say from the United States to France, you're going to spend lots of dollars, and it'll take lots of time, in some cases up to a week, 2 weeks, even more, in order to get that transaction through because of all of the regulations and paperwork, and this bank has to convert it from one currency to another currency, and it's just a slow, tangled mess. Whereas now that, it still eludes me. I thought it would pop back in my mind, and it hasn't yet. Anyway, Ripple is already doing that through the company that they've partnered with. When it comes to, you go down, I can see the name of the logo. Anyway, I just can't think of the words of the name of the business. You can do it almost instantaneously. It gets there within minutes, and it costs pennies on the dollar compared to the traditional methods of transferring funds from, the U.S. to France or to other countries. Tokenized assets may give the method a jolt, he said, combined with DLT tokens, could seamlessly move funds and help in answering market demands, Bose said. Okay, well, they definitely have gotten the point of what Ripple and Stellar are building, but they're a little bit slow on the, hello, let's get up and go. And so they're a little bit slow on the uptake and on taking action, but at least they have woken up to what can be done, what is being done, and they're beginning to take action. Now, I know a lot of people in the cryptocurrency community, they just don't like the idea of a central bank digital coin. I welcome the idea, and there's really two reasons for it. One, I have absolutely no control over what a governmental agency will do or won't do. And so whether I like it or that I dislike it, if they choose to do it, it's going to happen. And so because it's out of my control, I'm not going to get my hair on fire about something I have absolutely no control over. And I hope that you won't either. I mean, there's just no sense in getting your hair on fire over something that you're not going to be able to stop them. You may be able to accelerate them just by making a big deal out of it. The second thing is by the central banks of the world, by these different governments releasing their own central bank digitized tokens, it actually lends credibility to other pre-existing cryptocurrencies and possibly future cryptocurrencies. And so by the mere existence of a European central bank digital token, it will give Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a lot of the other cryptocurrencies more credibility, because people will learn and understand that the technology that this is based upon originally started with Bitcoin and then has spread to thousands of other cryptocurrencies. And as people become more and more educated on all of that, they will be more and more comfortable with investing in cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. And so I kind of think of this as a gateway that will bring a lot of new users into the Bitcoin market, the Bitcoin industry. And I think that's just good for cryptocurrency as a whole. So anyway, I know that a lot of people disagree with me. If you do disagree with me, I would love to hear from you. How can I be of service to you? If you disagree with me, hey, polite disagreements are always welcome, because you know things I don't know, I know things you don't know, and when the two of us share what we do know, we'll both grow smarter together. And so in the meantime, I hope that you'll share, like, and subscribe this video. And as always, hodl for dear life. Hodl, hodl, hodl.